But that's just me. I mean, I'm super petty like that, and I wouldn't want anything to do with them. But that's just me. Like, I'm petty. I'm a petty bitch like that.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing fantastic wherever you are in this world. Happy Thursday. I know you guys have been MIA for quite a few days. So much has been going on recently. Max, stop son. My husband actually had a major surgery. He's in hospital. He's fine. And can you believe all my babies are getting sick at the same time? So there's 4 of them that have a cold, sinus congestion, or just so much going on, but you know, all good. Everything's fine. God is good. We just keep it moving. As per usual, please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come up with your own conclusions. So today I'm just going to go over a few things, and especially one comment that I did receive in regard to the links the people, or should I say KJ stands, will go to actually support her, stand for her, defend her, all that kind of stuff. And you guys, if you have not watched the Dad Challenge podcast, he actually did a video on KJ where KJ made certain accusations against him. So he went on his channel and he set the record straight. And the main thing that I got from this is the fact that KJ always seems to do this to people. Say how people are always up in her DMs, and then she goes and she disregards them, and it's just a whole lot where he just sets the record straight. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing this message that I received from one of her dear, obviously, stans or subscribers, whatever you call it. And she says, I read all the comments on her Instagram post. It sounds like everyone wants to stick their heads in the sand and blame the messenger. First of all, nobody is blaming the messenger, okay? Secondly, pay attention to the messenger. This messenger has no boundaries, absolutely no boundaries. For number one, in the week, she made a statement in regard to the Sophie Long case. Because she got so much backlash with that story in regard to Sophie Long, she decides to actually, let me set the record straight too, in regard to this whole Sophie Long. Accept it, Katie Joy. You are the one that did double down and call Sophie Long a brat. So, and also you guys, if you actually want to, the Dare Challenge podcast also discusses this whole Sophie Long situation. And at the end of the day, shame on you, Katie Joy. Shame on you. So she made reference to we need to, or the public needs to give Sophie Long her privacy. If Sophie Long deserves her privacy, what is the difference with Josh and Anna Duggar's kids? Infant, baby kids. Why do they not deserve their privacy? But I'm going to go further into that later. Then she says, it sounds like everyone thinks people should be allowed to do these horrible things, and God forbid Katie is brave enough to, and it does take bravery, not to keep quiet and tells people what is going on. Yes, it is sickening. Katie thinks it's sickening, and I'm sure she would much rather be talking about anything else. But it feels this story needs to be told. Wow. Bravery. This person is referencing Katie Joy as brave. I think somebody needs their head read. Brave is I wouldn't even think of the word brave when it comes to Katie Joy. And I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. If you want to use the word exploit, absolutely. 100% exploit. And at the end of the day, this is all I'm going to say, okay? Katie Joy has reported on the Duggars going on 2 years or more than 2 years, whatever it is. She is not so nice to the Duggars. Let me back up a minute. I'm not going to be referring to Joshua, Michelle Duggar, and Jimbo Duggar. In my opinion, I feel Jimbo Duggar and Michelle Duggar need to be the ones to be charged with child endangerment. And they need to be right there with their son. Just my opinion. So I will not be referencing those people. I'm talking about the other kids, okay? She has done video after video after video on everything these kids have done in their lives. 95% of them are not positive, all negative videos, in my opinion, okay? And she's done hundreds and hundreds of videos on them. So why are they not being shown grace, these kids? Because at the end of the day, you guys, she's explained, they have been conditioned to think a certain way, feel a certain way, talk a certain way, and act a certain way. They basically don't have minds of their own, okay? They got to say, do everything what their dad does. The only person that's no longer in this family or part of this family is Joe Dillard. That's the only one, okay? So at the end of the day, when Katie is looking at any one of these kids, and especially now since Josh has been arrested and convicted, whatever all that is, Katie Joy is looking for statements from each and every kid. They're not obligated to give us anything. They're not obligated to say anything. Why are we not showing or giving these kids that are conditioned a certain way, that need help, that need guidance, that need to be shown what is right and what is wrong? Why are we not giving them? Why is Katie Joy, that knows and feels that they are in a certain organization, why is she not showing them any grace? Why is she not truly advocating for them? She was the one that sat on her Instagram live and said that house they live in is dark. She said she has sources. People have told her the dark things that go on in that house. Why is she not doing something about it? Why is she not helping these kids? She is just okay with profiting of the hardships, of the trauma of these kids. And according to Dad Challenge podcast, she makes a pretty penny. She makes a hell of a lot of money, okay? It sounds to me like she is the only one brave enough to risk the backlash from people who would rather not acknowledge the truth. She should be recognized as a heroine for deciding not to remain silent. You can't put this content on YouTube because they will pull it. Lady, you're just as delusional as Katie Joy is. Absolutely, 100%. How you, first of all, Katie censors what she puts on YouTube. Do you not see the difference between, like you said, you read comments of Instagram, so obviously you see her Instagram lives. Don't you see a difference? Are you that dumb not to notice how Katie Joy censors you guys? You can't use certain words. You can't say certain phrases. But on Instagram, she is using those certain words. She is using those certain phrases. So get yourself in check and check the proper details. And then, obviously, like I said, she says one thing on YouTube and then she says another thing on Instagram. So last week when she was reporting on the whole case and the conviction and stuff like that, when she was getting a lot of backlash about, can't remember exactly what it was about, Katie Joy mentioned that she was a commentary channel.
There's also, this is a commentary channel.
Now this week, it's a different tune. On her Instagram, she's reporting she's a reporter. Okay, Katie Joy. She says, I guarantee if it was later discovered that she had this knowledge and kept silent, she would be crucified and called a coward. and worse. She is right. She is damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. What about some appreciation for making the decision to air the dirty laundry and debunk the false image the Duggars have so carefully crafted? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. First of all, Katie Joy has taken every opportunity to re-victimize those sisters that Josh Duggar violated. Every opportunity, which is not and was never her story to tell. Let's be clear on that. And when you say airing their dirty laundry, she didn't air their dirty laundry. The media aired their dirty laundry. She just reported on what she found out from the media. Okay? How else will this ever stop if people thinking they have free reign to do what they want because everyone is too frightened to speak out? People speculate why the Duggars don't sue her. They don't sue her because she speaks the truth. I, for one, am very grateful to Katie for being the only one with conviction to speak out, to try to protect the children. What the fuck? How is Katie Joy protecting these kids? How? Let's start with the babies. Katie goes on everybody's Instagram posts. She takes photos of their babies and she puts it on her Instagram without blurring out their faces. These are kids. These are babies. They don't need to be exploited like this. They don't need to be shown to the world. If those people want to put on their Instagram, all well and good. Why does Katie take it off their Instagram and put it on her Instagram and post something negative about these kids? Katie has such fucked up thoughts. Example, in my last video when I spoke about Anna Duggar's little baby, when it was National Pickle Day, she posted a photo of her little boy eating a pickle. Katie Joy took that picture totally out of context to suit her twisted, fucked up mind into something it was not. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then she says, good job, Katie. You have probably saved a lot of children from a lot of abuse. How? How did she do this? Katie Joy, a few days ago, was referencing this or these people and saying they're nothing but terrorists. Are you fucking kidding me? Then she goes on and she says, you have probably saved a lot of children from a lot of abuse. Keep up the good work. A lot of us are behind you and proud of you. Everyone needs to think about this. Why is this huge, powerful group not saying a word about anything she says? Because they know she tells the truth. And it appears she's the only one with guts to swallow her disgust and educate people. You see, now, you're the type of person that doesn't have an open mind or doesn't expose or educate yourself about others that do speak about this organization, these people. And I'm talking about people like Fundy Friday, and take notes, lady. Fundy Friday, Kailu, maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. Then you get Preacher Boys. Then you get, and the other one is I Pray I Put This Journal Away. And then you get people like Backwards Barbie also reports on the Duggars. You get LB that reports on the Duggars. And obviously you people are not going to go and watch these people because you'll feel that they hate Katie. No, people. It's to each their own. Open your mind. Get different perspectives of things. And at the end of the day, a lot of all these other channels don't speak so negatively about the Duggar kids the way Katie Joy does. It's like pulling teeth. And she always seems to go whichever way the wind is blowing when it comes to that. Whichever way the people are feeling about certain Duggar kids. That's how she gets her revenue. That's how she builds her audience. That's how she gets her subscribers. Pay attention, people. It's all about the manipulation, in my opinion, with Katie Joy. Then she says, I'm shocked to hear that people want it hushed up. And by the way, There was no gleam in her eye. Stop dramatizing and following the pack of the haters. Think about this for yourselves. Either you want to know because knowledge is power and the only way to make it stop, or you want it hushed up so it can continue in private. Everyone has to decide for themselves which category they fall into. For these comments, it sounds like either no one cares about these children, or this is just one more reason to hate on Katie. And if that is your reason, shame on you. First of all, you don't know me. Okay, first of all. Secondly, Katie Joy, as you're saying, she cares about these kids. Katie Joy gives a fuck. She doesn't give one fuck about these kids. Katie Joy is all about the money. Not so long ago, Katie Joy was mum shaming Joanna, because Joanna had her little baby, not her little baby, she had a toddler on the counter, on the kitchen counter. Lord forbid, if Katie had to see the way I raised my kids, I think maybe should have me locked up by now. Nobody is the same, okay? Nobody is the same. People have different ways of raising their kids, and Katie Joy should be the last one to talk about raising children, because Katie Joy is the one that gives her son, in my opinion, no time of day, okay? And I'm going to reference you to two things that will never ever leave my mind. Is the day she left her son stuck in a room for 10 hours with her husband. She sat on a fucking Instagram live or YouTube live, I don't know which one it was, and you could hear her husband was at his wit's end, and she did not a fucking thing to help him or to help her son. She stayed on that fucking YouTube live. It's on my channel. I will link it down. You lady that sent me this message, go look. Go look. And then she still throws it out there and still tries to lie about it, that her husband was in the room with the dog. Then the next excuse she gave was her son was having a meltdown. It's like, name one. Keep your story straight, because that's who Katie is. Katie is nothing but a liar, okay? A liar, in my opinion. Then we move on to, she actually was showing the people how, you know, how much medication her son has, and Katie Joy had, you know, I don't know what goes through her mind. So she's taking all this medication out of her cupboard and she's trying to show the people, and realizes, oh shit, that medication that her son is, that's so vital to her son, is actually expired. And you know what she does? She blames the nurses. She said it's the nurse's duty to actually check the expiration dates and clear out what is expired. No, that's your duty, to make sure that everything is on point, especially the way you keep saying how medically fragile your son is and what he needs is so important. Don't blame the nurses. You've done that from day one. Just blame the nurses for every damn thing. Take accountability, Katie Joy. Katie Joy was the one, when her son was sick, because she thinks she knows it all, she is the smartest one in the room. She had her son suffer for 3 days with a headache because she felt she knew better. She just thought it was a headache. And on the 4th day, she went and she finally took her son to the emergency room. And there was something wrong with his shunt. So she left him sick for 3 days. And while in the hospital, this woman was having a Twitter war with another YouTuber. Who the fuck does that? She can't seem to put that phone down. This is a person that mum shames all these kids that has children. And let me tell you something. She's talking about corporal punishment. Wasn't Katie Joy brought up in the corporal punishment era? I was. It wasn't all bad in my opinion. So she is using all that against these kids. She says these kids have friends with people on the outside world. Have you ever seen anybody besides Joe with somebody from the outside world? Have you ever? These kids need guidance. They need to be transitioned. She said how many times they need to be deprogrammed. What is Katie Joy doing? She is doing nothing, and she knows that Jim Bob Duggar and them won't come for because they don't want to be exposed. But you never know who else may come, because it's just, you guys, a matter of time. So she can enjoy making all this money off of them. She can enjoy it. But at the end of the day, to what avail will it be? Because it's all, once again, with all her lawsuits, it just gets paid out to attorneys. So what good is this that she's doing? She's not doing a damn thing for these kids. She's not doing anything for herself. It's not benefiting her family. Katie Joy, you all want to say what a good mother she is. As far as I'm concerned, and this is my opinion, this is my feelings, this is my observation, she is not a mother at all, in my opinion. You know why? This woman has no faith in her own son, okay? There's a video on my channel, and I will also link that video down below, where she has stated that because her son has autism, he can be manipulated into murdering somebody.
My son is autistic, so
okay. Do you believe that your son could be manipulated into murdering somebody?
yes,
You do.
yes.
Why? And how? And where is your son at on the spectrum?
He's high functioning.
He's high functioning. Why do you think that could happen?
Because they're vulnerable.
Because you're actually the first one that we've talked to that has said that.
That's the first thing. The second thing is that she isolates her poor baby. Before COVID hit, she used to use the excuse on nobody wants to hang around with them because it's all about their lifestyle, how their life has changed because of her son's disability and stuff like that. You don't fucking need people to make a life for your child. You just need yourself, your child, and your partner. Find things to do. Now that COVID is hit, she uses the excuse that she wants to keep her son safe. This kid hardly goes out that house. He has no social interactions. He's just stuck in that house 24/7 on his iPad. His best friend is the nurse. He has no other interaction with other kids. He's not taken out to explore, to sightsee, to do anything. How is that being a good parent? How? You'll love Katie, you'll support Katie, you're all about Katie. What about Katie that exploits these Duggar's grandkids? Huh? How they raise their kids. In my opinion, their kids are so much better off than your own kid, Katie Joy. They've been exposed to stuff. They doing stuff, you know? But what is Katie Joy doing? Katie Joy is doing nothing but making money off of them. She has all these sources that things can be done. But all I am going to say, you guys, she needs to lay off Anna and Josh's kids. They did not ask to be in this position. They deserve privacy, okay? Isn't it supposed to be private because they are minors? Is she now going to investigate and search and find out if that when they do have these examinations done, what's the outcome? It's just so wrong, you guys. And I've never ever seen a person that talks so much about CP. It's like she's obsessed with it. Obsessed. There's things in there that she talks about that does not need to be discussed. It does not. The other day, and I saw this message on Twitter, and I should have actually screenshot it, but anyway, she was actually, this person was so livid on how she was talking about where and what she found in regard to Daisy's destruction. So you giving people the heads up on where to find the stuff. Why? And I'm going to end with saying this, you guys. Once again, those Duggar kids and those grand Duggar kids, okay, they have been conditioned all their life. They have been brainwashed all their life. They have been told what to say, what to do, how to act, how to feel. Why are we blaming them for what was out of their control? They need help. People need to start figuring out how to expose or to get these kids out of the situation. Not sit on your channel and make thousands upon thousands of dollars degrading something that's out of their control. Have at it. Go after the parents all you want. Go after Josh Duggar all you want. But this is one thing I can't seem to get out of my mind, okay? Katie Joy said she knows that there's 2 other boys in that house that are doing the same thing Josh Duggar was doing. Why is she not? If you say, lady that sent me this message, she's protecting those children. No. She's exploiting those children. She's exploiting those children's situation and she's making money off of it. Let's be clear about that. Because she has so much information about the darkness that's going on in this home and she's not doing a fucking thing about it. But making video on video on video every day. Then she's coming with the same thing she came with after Josh Duggar was arrested. She's going over all the stories about, how many times has she told the story about how Jill is the dangerous one? She's told that story, I counted, over 30 times. Over 30 times. How many more times you need to hear it? I know you have, she has new subscribers, but come on, refer them back to one of those 30 videos. Because everything now is just repetitive. Over and over and over again. And do yourselves a favor, do your research, because there's a lot of people that's actually denouncing Katie, because people are finding out slowly but surely, one person at a time, that Katie is not that good of a person than they thought she was, because she's all just about the money. Pay attention how she censors you all, how she uses certain words she doesn't want to use. Look at the end of the day when she was reporting on GABBY PETITO, what did she say? Unalive. I'm sure YouTube doesn't have an issue with the word deceased or late, but I don't know, it's just me. Once again, I'm saying, if she feels that Sophie Long, that she called a brat, deserves privacy, so do those babies of Anna and Joshua Duggar. They didn't choose their parents. They didn't choose to be in this situation. And before I go, she mentioned the thing that Anna Duggar will be reported or may be charged with abandonment. Let's look at it in another way. If you listen to Katie, you all know that Michelle and Jib Bob Duggar are all about the public's perception of them, okay? Maybe they ordered Anna to go and live by Josh so the public knows that she's standing by her husband, and said, no, it's fine, you stay there, we know the kids, we'll take care of the kids. How is that Anna Duggar abandoning her kids if it did go that way? But we don't even know if she did abandon her kids, or she just told the Duggars, oh, look after my kids, I'm going to be staying. You know what I'm saying? Because Anna does not look like that type of mother. Each time you see those kids are on point. They are on point. They look clean, they dress so nice. But that's just what we see. We don't know what goes on, and I get that. But can we look at it maybe that way? they wanted Anna to give the public this perception of how she's standing by her kids. And all those smiles every day at the courtroom look so forced. And you guys, I'm going to read a little bit of something that I saw on LB's channel from somebody that was in this organization. And all props go to LB for these screenshots. This was actually written by a survivor from this organization, and she was actually one of the people that was actually suing Bill Gothard, and she and her mom was part of this organization, but they got out. And her name is Emily, and I actually heard her story on Preacher Boy's YouTube channel, and it was absolutely wow. I'll leave that down below. You can go have a watch. And then this is what she says. She says, Anna Duggar did everything right. She was raised in a conservative Christian home. She dressed modestly, and when she met Josh, they practiced courtship instead of traditional dating. She married with her parents' blessings. She saved her first kiss for marriage. She became the ultimate submissive wife. She spoke honorably of her husband and always stood by his side. When he committed adultery against her, she forgave him and remained in the marriage, despite evidence to show the behavior did not stop. She became his accountability partner for his addiction. She gave him lots and lots of sex and birthed 7 children for him. She clung to her faith with her marriage. She clung to her faith when her marriage began to fall apart and prayed earnestly for her husband. Anna did everything right, and yet tragically everything went so wrong. 5 years later, after his adulterous secret life was revealed, her husband will be tried on November 30th for charges of receiving and possessing CSAM. While Anna certainly is a victim of her unfaithful husband, let's not forget she's also a victim of toxic belief system that has been ingrained into by her fundamentalist Christianity for the entirety of her life. How many more stories like Anna need to happen before the fundamentalist church realizes that their messages concerning submission, sex, divorce, purity culture, and patriarchy aren't working? After all, Anna did everything she was told to do, be guaranteed a safe and happy marriage. Perhaps, maybe, the problem isn't Anna, but instead the fact that she married an abusive man, and the church refused to give her the support she needed to remain safe. When will the church face the fact that the good, godly actions of one spouse cannot change the abusive behavior of another spouse? When will they realize that the brazen promise of the purity movement and courtship movement are flawed and empty? When will the church start telling women like Anna that there is nothing a wife can do to make her abusive husband change? When will they tell her that giving him more sex will not cure his addiction? When will they tell her that practicing courtship will not divorce-proof or affair-proof her marriage? When are they going to start telling her that his abuse is not her fault? When are they going to tell her that by leaving an abuser and protecting her kids, she is not breaking her marriage vows? After all, he was the one that broke the covenant. When are they going to tell her that God cares about her safety and her children's safety, and that he created divorce as a means of protecting the vulnerable? When are they going to tell her that God cares about her safety and her children's safety, and that he created divorce as a means of protecting the vulnerable? Until the church starts changing its message to these victims and stop pointing the blame on them and telling them that they just need to submit more or pray more or give him more sex, women will continue to stay in these abusive marriages, believing that it's God's will for them and they have no other choice. Josh Duggar is not the only one who needs to be held accountable for the actions the church does as well. By Emily Elizabeth Anderson. Rights as in what the church told her what was the right thing to do in order to please God, which in reality is not healthy or safe or true at all. Bear in mind, Anna knows no better. And like they say, you know no better, you do no better. Anna grew up in poverty. This organization she was raised in, she was taught a certain way, just like the Duggars, you guys. That woman deserves some space. She deserves some grace right now. And she needs everybody's support, in my opinion. And I also want you to think about one thing. Katie Joy is one person. The Duggars is like over 20 people. Look how many videos I've done about her. Look how shrewd, manipulative, she gaslights people. she lies, and she's just one person. That says a lot. It truly does. So you guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so be notified each time I upload. And also, please don't forget to wear your mask. And you guys, please be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.